I got to a point where I was in March where like I had to borrow $20,000 from my grandmother. You know how humiliating that is
Yeah.
to be making almost $600,000 and you have to borrow $20,000 from your grandmother.
It's interesting because as you were talking about like limiting beliefs and breaking through when you feel like you're worth it, we had DK on a couple of maybe like a month or so ago, and he was saying that his biggest breakthroughs after a Tony Robbins event, he like his self-limiting thoughts disappeared completely, and he went from I think it was like 300 to 800,000 year over year after going to one of the events. How do you get past that in terms of when you're in front of a seller? Let's say you're trying to up your price point, right? Let's say your average price point is 300,000, and you're going to somebody who's $1 million, right? And it's somewhere out of your scope of what you're normally comfortable with. How do you get out of your own mind and limit of thinking that's something that you can actually handle and they're your best option?
I think a lot of times it literally it's your mindset. Again, it's not feeling like you're worthy. I remember, early in my career being scared to call people that like, I'm 30 years old and I'm living in a house that's like 1.2 million, and yet I'm scared to call people that are a million. I'm like, I am them. Why would I be scared about something that I am?
Yeah.
But in my mind, it's like I felt so much comfortable. Like people that are a million, they're going to act this way. And the truth is they aren't. They're just like everyone else. You know what I mean? Although, I mean, you can't fluff with some of them, but like they're the same as everyone else. They're all humans. And I just think that in our minds, we create these like self limitations. I think everyone in their career has a point where there's a breakthrough.
Mm.
Everybody, there's always a point. Like for me, it was 2005. I think I made like 575, but I was going out. I was spending money. I was being a baller, taking my friends out. We'd spend 20,000 on the weekend. I didn't care about money. And then the market changed in 2006. And I wasn't as good as I thought. I was good because of the market. Like a lot of agents the last 4 years, like they didn't have to do anything. Buyers wanted to buy because it was hot. And if they didn't buy, the prices were going up. So like there was pain there. All of a sudden the market shifted in '06, and like I never had to ask for price reductions. And so like I wasn't good at it.
Yeah.
I'd never had to worry about commission as much. And now commission was everything because the prices were going down. And I got to a point where I was in March where like I had to borrow $20,000 from my grandmother. You know how humiliating that is
Yeah.
to be making almost $600,000 and you have to borrow $20,000 from your grandmother. And I remember Steve, I told him my situation and he was like, take out a sheet of paper. And he's like, write down 90. And he goes, you're going to work the next 90 days because broke people don't have days off. I want you to write that at the top of the page in big letters. Broke people don't have days off. Then he said, write the number 5. You're going to make a minimum of 5 hours a day of prospecting because broke people prospect for at least 5 hours a day. He was like, write 10. You're going to talk to a minimum of 10 people a day. And so we went through this program of what he wanted me to do the next 90 days. And like, I was really upset because it's just, I didn't know what to do. I was scared. And he was like, a lot of people in your situation won't make it because it's so hard, because to make money when you need it is one of the most gut wrenching things to do because every no, it hurts different.
Mm.
And then he hung up the phone. And I remember like in that moment, I remember crying, like, how do I get out of this? And so all of March, April, May, June, I just grinded as hard as I could. And in July, there was 2 days where I was going to close $130,000 and I was done, like out all the work I did. And through the graces of God, 10 of the 11 deals fell out. Now I'm done. I have no money. I got $10,000. I'm at my office. It was like July 27th of 2006. And I remember my broker came in at 12 o'clock and she's like, I heard my girlfriend, who's my wife now, is calling me. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. Like I got nowhere to go, no more deals. And I'm drinking vodka, and somewhere around 1:30, something inside of me, it just fucking snapped. And like I had a realization with myself that's like, this is repulsive, disgusting. Like I thought of everything that I allowed my life to come to. And I was
Mm.
so angry at myself that I allowed that to happen that the next day I made a promise. If someone yelled at me, I was going to yell at them because you could take my license. I'm not even an agent because I don't have no deals. And literally I grinded the rest of July, August, September, and October. I closed 18 deals and made 181,000. And between July 27th and the end of the year, I made 510. And it was this huge breakthrough, because
Wow.
I realized that all these limitations, it was bullshit. But it wasn't until I was put against the wall and had nothing that I just literally just was relentless. I just didn't stop. And that changed my whole career. You know, the next year I went to 8, 9, and it's just like it grew to 1 million. And it's just like, you know, had that not happened in 2006, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. There's this process of pain. But behind the pain, if you can push yourself, there's such beautiful life waiting for you. And so many people quit. I had every reason to quit. No deals, no money. But something inside of me knew that I was worth more.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I always tell young people, like, there's always that point in everybody's life where, like, you either do it or you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate that I stuck with that. But that day always, that one day changed my life.
I hate to use the word blessed. It's just such a cliche word these days, but that's where I always go to this. I'm like, we are actually, blessed to be in a business where you could literally just, if I want to turn shit around tomorrow, I just got to realize I'm going into the office, got to put my head down, put my headset on, and just power through, right? Like you said, 100 contacts changes everything every single time. But isn't that amazing, though, that we're in this business where you can actually just make that decision? Because, I can't think of any other industry other than other maybe sales industries where you can just be like, all right, got to really turn it on. That's why I think a lot of times realtors have a hard time connecting with other people in their circle or their crew or their friends or their family, because a lot of times when we are struggling mentally or whatever, financially, you in your head, you're like, I remember going through stages of my life where I'm like, everything's related to a deal, right? An average commission check in our market's $12,000. I'm like, hiring a Mike Ferry coach, $1,000 a month. I'm giving one deal away, right?
Yep.
Want to go get a new office space, tiny little office, $1,000 a month. I'm giving another deal away, right?
Yep.
So I was always relating things to deals, but it's
Absolutely.
an amazing.
But what Mike went through is insane, though, right?
Yeah.
To essentially have 11 deals die out,
Yeah.
right? And then you're basically at zero. It's very.
I want to know what kind of vodka it was, because that's clearly what supercharged you.
I think we all know intuitively what we're capable of, and we don't do it. We can make all these excuses, but if you have a moment of truth and you just realize, like, disgusting, repulsiveness, you start thinking of the worst words to describe it, and you just have a moment and you realize that you're better than that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mad at anything but myself for, like, allowing it to happen. You know what I mean? It was my own fault, And as I said, I mean, that's why I say luckily that day happened, because had I not happened, my whole demeanor in terms of my obsession with communicating and learning people, it just changed like that. That day, it gave me a more aggressive style. Before that, I was much more reserved. That day just made me aggressive, going after people like I didn't care. And that changed the dynamic. And I still keep that, a lot of that. I'm very aggressive when I'm prospecting, but that day is what made that. That pain, I turned it into motivation. And everyone has a moment in their life like that. Everyone has this thing when they'll see, oh, Mike Putnam, he's made $2 million. Everything is good. And they think it's this beautiful ascend up there. And that's not reality. You know what I mean? We all hit a wall one way or another, Yeah. And when you face that wall, it's like when you can get past that, you realize you can get past anything.